Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Doing my first ARCA race for week 8 here of season 1 2022. We are on the road course at Summit Point Raceway, going out for qualifying. Only really using this as extra practice laps to get a little more comfortable with the car, rather than actually trying to improve position. I know crazy stuff happens all the time on the starts of road courses or road races for me, and when you put stock cars in it, it just makes it that much more inevitable that something nuts is going to happen, and I obviously am just as likely to do something as everybody else. So I'm not sure how many cars are not going to qualify to know how many fast people it puts me in front of, but certainly going to try to do the best that I can. It's taking this first lap really easy to kind of get the tires warmed up. And just kind of get around the track. So first lap, just going to kind of lay one in, make sure I get a time in so that I can keep working on qualifying. Second lap, I'll try to push a little bit harder, and if there's any time, I'm going to stay out and just keep running through. Not going to have anything for any of the top guys. Looks like this lobby split once, so guessing there's still probably going to be some weaker people, but a lot of stronger guys in this. I am car number 11. I think there's 15 in total. It's either 15 or 16, and I'm certainly not going to be anywhere near the pace of the top guys. If I can be within a second to a second and a half of them, I will be really happy with that. So if I get to the 114s, that's going to be really good for me, and you know, consistent low 115s, high 114s is going to be a really good goal to shoot for during the race. So for me, it's just going to be all about trying to keep the car clean, keep it on the track, and going in the right direction, and seeing if there's anybody that wrecks that I can pick up spots from. Otherwise, it's certainly going to be a struggle to try to get anywhere. It's a lot of sections that, because it's a stock car, and I'm not good at road racing to begin with light sports cars, it definitely makes it a lot tougher in the stock car, but I'm trying to do my best to learn this. This is, you know, part of my overall goal, what I want to develop, so certainly don't want to shy away from these just because I'm not good at them, and hopefully try to get you guys some entertainment and maybe something that you can learn out of it as well. Not the greatest lap, but certainly not the worst one I've run by any means. Probably didn't need to shift to fourth gear there. Some spots I've used second gear when I previously was using first gear, and other spots I see people using second gear when I'm using first gear. It's just kind of what I'm comfortable with right now. I don't know if necessarily I'm, you know, completely close to the fast stuff, so certainly some stuff I learned that helped me pick up time, but there's other stuff that I tried that I personally lost time, but that's probably because I'm not driving it correctly, so just gonna try to do what I can. Best thing I can do is to avoid spinning the rear tires too early on and heating them up, because that's just going to make it that much harder to lay power down the rest of the race. So just going to try to keep it as smooth and clean, as easy as I can, which is always my goal for road racing, but you know, really kind of baby the car along as best as I can. Got to make sure to not pick up the throttle too much through this section and push the car too wide. Just light touches the throttle to keep it rolling through will help me maintain time. And then this is the section here where I can start to pick up second gear. I just got to make sure to not get on the grass or the curves so that I don't get the car too out of shape and I can get through it a little bit faster. Almost picked up the throttle a little too hard there, but able to get through it. Gonna flip just across that hill. Keep it in third gear that time to see if I can get any better of a run off of the last corner. Certainly going to be a faster lap than the first lap, but not going to be a very quick one overall. You can see still going to be barely a 114. So again, for me, if I can do that consistently in the race, I'll be pretty happy with that overall. So it's got me sitting in 8th right now. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have not turned time, so we'll just see how it stacks up. If I'm, again, within a second to a second and a half of the leaders, I'm going to be really thrilled with that. And I won't be shocked to be 2 seconds off either. Just trying to have some fun and improve with this. You know, this is really the best shot for me to learn, because obviously stock cars on road racing is kind of one of my overall goals to get better at, so this was the perfect opportunity to try to run some in a real race situation and learn. And these cars are definitely, in my opinion, one of the harder stock cars to run to begin with, so on a road course it just makes it that much tougher. Might be able to get the lap done this time, we'll see. certainly does not seem like a faster lap than the previous one, so just all about keeping it consistent, smooth, keeping it going in the right direction. That should help me beat some people that I probably wouldn't normally beat on speed, and we'll just see where everything shakes out. Just gonna park it as I finish that lap. They're all fairly consistent. I mean, that's not consistent overall, but for me to be within half a second to 3/4 of a second, that's pretty consistent with me. So tires seem to be about pretty even. So just got to make sure I watch the throttle all the way. 13 out of 15 cars turn time. So yeah, I'm just over 2 seconds, which is not as much as it's a little further than I wanted to be, but overall not too bad. Typically 2 to 2.5 seconds is about where I fall to the fastest drivers, so I don't see me getting into that 113 range. So honestly, unless a bunch of wrecks happen, I think the best I could hope for, if we get away with a clean start, is maybe 7th, which in this field would still probably pick me up a little bit of iRating, and especially since I am car number 11, would not be a bad finish at all. I don't see how I can get to that 114.1. So I don't see how 5th or 6th is going to happen without a lot of luck and some drivers having issues. So just going to stay positive though, stay optimistic, try to do the best that I can, just keep it as clean as possible. Biggest thing is just to get it through this start. I am starting on the outside, on the left side, but it'll be the outside going into turn 1. So just probably going to hang out there, and if I give up a bunch of spots off the start, that's fine. I kind of just want to get through that turn as cleanly as possible without people slamming into me or anything like that. So probably going to take a really slow line through that first corner just to make it through, and then after the first lap, hopefully you should see some of the people that are going to spin go off the track, get by them, and then kind of sort out and figure out where I'm going to fall the rest of the way. So 15 laps. Should be a somewhat quick race. Hopefully can just try to get through it with as few incidents as possible. Would love to get my first 0x on a road race in quite a long time, and if I can do it in a stock car, I will be even more thrilled with that. Honestly, I could finish way in the back, and if that's what I'm able to accomplish, I'll be pretty happy with that. Really, I'll just be happy if I can get through this race without anybody else touching me. That's going to be a hard ask, but just had so much bad luck lately that it would be nice to get one race in, even if I finish dead last, of not having any incidents or issues like that. But that's racing, that's how it goes. So always start a new one. It's always a new opportunity to try to do as well as possible, and just see what we can get out of it. So don't really like the idea of starting dead in the middle, but there wasn't really much I could do about that one. I flat out don't have the pace, so I think you're going to see a lot of groups open up in this race just because of the difference in speed, and that would be even without people having issues. If you have people having issues, then that could throw a whole other wrench into it, because you could have faster guys that go to the back because of incidents, whether or not their fault or not. So you get faster guys trying to come up through the field. You could have slower people starting up towards the front that have problems that go to the back. It could definitely be a very interesting dynamic for sure. So just gonna have to see how it works out. I ran just a couple laps in warm-ups practice with the one who's starting up in 7th. He was pretty quick, so it'll be interesting to see what he does overall. The biggest thing too is to watch everybody and try to just learn from as many as I can about lines or braking points or anything like that. I don't know how much. Excuse me, sorry. I don't know how much I'll be able to implement during the race, but certainly good to just take note and study and try to learn off of people. Anything I can pick up well around these faster guys to help me is always good. And again, you can even have slower people that, as a whole, a lot of times may not be that fast, but they may have one section of the track that they're much quicker at than me. So I always try to study everybody as best I can, both to see what I think they're doing wrong and what could potentially pose a risk to me, as well as what can I learn from them to try to do better. So just trying to glean as much as I can out of this. me getting ready to start. Looks like we got the 3 going a bit nuts up there. Almost lost control. Think he was good though. Yeah, just gonna try to sort out this as best as I can and see what I can make out of it. So pace car will be pulling off soon.
Be ready.
Looks like we're kind of stacking everything up. I'm not really sure why we're doing that. Most of the leaders are trying to jump and get a big start, but that's kind of fun, and that's what the leader looks like he did. So we are off and rolling now. Just trying to get the car straight, get going. Got a big gap behind. Got the 5 on the right-hand side, but nice big gap behind, so I can back off and not run into anybody in front of me without too much fear of people behind me getting into me. So should help with the trying to get through the first corner clean. Lost 1 spot off the start, but honestly that's perfectly fine with me. It's always going to have the disadvantage starting on the outside line going into turn 1, so not a big deal. Going to watch the 5 and the 8 here running side by side.
Starts okay.
7 does a good job breaking away from the 15 as well, so going to have to watch out for him. He may be faster than me. Lock the brakes up a little bit there, able to save it. 7 does a good job staying off of me. I'll just kind of tiptoeing through this first section now, working on getting the tires warmed up. Pressure's built up so the car's a little more comfortable. And then for everybody else, the race will start for me. It'll just be all about survival and trying to hang on, so just kind of ease it as much as I can and make sure I don't make any mistakes. If I can finish 11th or better, this is the one time where, regardless of iRating, if I can beat my car number, I will be thrilled to death with that. At least made it through the first lap clean. That's more than I can say for some races recently, so pretty happy about that. And now comes the time to see if I can drive without making too many mistakes. Don't think I'll be able to get through this mistake-free. It's just all about minimizing the mistakes. You can see overshot the corner there, so that's technically one, although able to keep the car under control, so other than losing time, not as big of a mistake as some that I've made before. Just gotta remember to back up the braking points a little bit. Heavier stock cars do not like to slow down as much as some of the other sports cars I've driven recently. Lock it up a little bit. You got side by side between the 1 and the 10 up ahead. They sorted out. I pick up the throttle a little too much going into that corner. Lost a ton of time there, so just gotta make sure I'm a little bit easier on the throttle through that section. Got session best lap up just so I can kind of see how I'm doing in relation to my overall lap times. 7's been incredibly respectful behind me, staying off of me. Big thank you to him already for doing that. Looks like the 8 gets a little loose out of the corner. It's very easy to do if you pick up the throttle too quickly. Yeah, I'm not going to be anywhere near those 113s. I was at a 115 that time. I mean, I made some mistakes, but it's not going to be drastically faster, so just going to try to do the best I can. Looks like the E5 might have locked it up going into turn 1 there. You can see the difference when you don't overshoot the corner, how much time you can pick up. Already almost a 10th faster just by that one corner, and that's assuming that I don't pick up any other time anywhere else. Kind of overshoot that corner a little bit, get a bad run off, so I'll fall behind that lap, but overall not too bad. I can try to keep it a little bit cleaner, set up a little bit of a better entry into this section. 8 locks it up, he goes a bit wide, gonna watch for him, gonna try to get by on his inside, able to clear him. So that's one spot there that I was not planning on. Just kind of easing it through the section, clipped the curb a bit too much there, but doesn't upset the car too bad. 7 got through that spot with the 8 as well, but I was able to pull away from him a little bit, so helps give me a little bit of a breathing room back to him. Just got to watch this battle between the 5 and the 10 up ahead, see if there's any contact or problems. Not much of a faster lap, I certainly made some mistakes, but at least an improvement, so I'll take that.
Okay, Jake, don't think about the lap times, just hit each and every apex.
Just working on trying to get through the corners as clean as I can, not overshoot. Looks like the 10 got by the 5. I have to watch out there to see if there's any more problems. Looks like the 5's been locking it up occasionally in the corners.
The gap behind is now 2.1.
Better time through that corner. You can see the time they make up compared to the previous lap. just pulling away slightly from the 7, but gap's holding pretty consistent too, so hopefully we can try to keep this pace up and be in a decent situation for the rest of the race. Trying to pick up a little bit of time through this section compared to previous laps. Still not real good at using the throttle to rotate the car through the corners there to get through that section faster. I know that's one I could pick up a ton of time. 10 goes flying off the track. Hopefully he stays to our right. We're able to get by him, so there's another spot that I wasn't originally planning on. Gotta watch to make sure I don't clip too much of the curb there and lose it off the corner. 5 looked like he did, but he's able to keep it in control. 10 gets it going. He's ahead of the 7, so that might buy me a little bit of a gap. Inching my way towards a 114.
115.19.
If I can hit a 114 by the end of the race, I'll be happy. Almost overshoot the corner, but able to save it. Trying to work my way towards the 5, but not going to overdrive my own capabilities right now. Just got to keep the car going in the right direction. This race has been clean so far. Nice to see, other than people making their own mistakes. 5 locks it up again, just going to have to be conscious of that if I get closer to him. That could also be an opportunity if he pushes wide to try to get by him as well. Just trying to get through the section. 3 goes off the track. I'm able to get by him. I'm sure if he gets righted, that'll be a position that he could get back, but for right now that's a free spot, nice to have, so potential to finish better than I definitely planned on. Just if I can keep it clean the rest of the race, which we still got 10 to go this time by, so long way left to go. Slowly working my way down, at least running laps that are fairly close to each other. Way off the pace, but you know, for me, like I said, where my current development's at, I'm to be expected, just happy to keep it going the right direction. I'm sure given how bad I'm off the pace, if the 3 doesn't have too much in the way of damage, he'll definitely be catching me back up and getting on by, but I'm certainly going to do what I can. Probably could brake a little bit later going in this section, but I'd rather not lock it up and slide off. Looks like the 3 has a bit of an issue again. See if that buys me any extra time. Definitely lost some time through that section, but trying to do the best that I can. Made a little bit of it up there off the exit, so pulling away from the 3 a little bit due to his mistakes. That helps. 5 kind of clips the curve a little bit. I get it, that sends me loose, able to save it though. It's going to give up the time I gained to the 3. He also spins it off of the corner, so now that's really going to help out. I've got a decent gap back, so 6th place feels a lot more comfortable right now. It's got to reset, make sure I don't do anything to jeopardize this.
Keep it up.
Didn't get off the brakes quite early enough to roll the car. You can see it slid it out, but thankfully because of the big gap I've got to the 10 behind me, I've got a little bit of time to make a mistake like that. And not really concerned with trying to get to the 5. Just trying to click off clean laps. For me, the big thing coming into that section is to keep it off the curbing on the inside, because that allows me to not upset the car, but keep an outside entry and take the best arc into the corner for me. There probably is a faster way to do it than that, but that's for me just like the most comfortable way to get through it. Definitely slow through this section as a whole, though, giving up a ton of time. This lap overall is just not very good.
Seconds.
Just need to ensure that I keep it clean going forward, keep it going the right direction, not lose too much time to mistakes like that. Make sure I don't clip the curb, don't get on the gas too hard. Able to get a better exit. You can see how much time I'm making up that way. Gap stayed about consistent with the 10, so like I said, 6th place feels like it's fairly comfortable. Whether or not I'll be able to get to the 5 is another story, but certainly going to do my best. Try not to overshoot that corner. Just think the tires are starting to wear a little bit. Not so much the tire wear, but the temperature, so I'm sure the braking's getting a little bit tougher with them. Just need to back the braking point up a little bit now. and just keep myself going clean, so that way if anybody up ahead does have any incidents, I can try to take advantage of it. It's going to be about the only way that I really can get anywhere is with people up ahead making mistakes, so I'm certainly not going to do it on speed myself. 10 looks like he had a bit of an issue. 7 and 8 get on by. That gap also opens up a little bit, so it's going to help me have that much more cushion while I ride around in 6. This time by will be halfway down. 8 down, 7 to go. Shocked I've gone this long without a mistake, although I probably just jinxed myself by saying that. Certainly a much slower lap, but just trying to keep it clean at this point and keep myself moving forward rather than trying to turn the absolute fastest laps.
Alright Jake, halfway home, fuel's good.
Trying to back up that braking point some, like I mentioned. You can see some block up ahead. A little bit better through the turn 1 section. I think I might need to switch over to session laps. I might have overheated the tires from some of the slides in the loose, and it's just kind of killed it with in terms of tire heat, so might be better to go to session last lap rather than my fastest lap. Just focus on running consistent laps. Sometimes I feel like I enter too fast and it causes me to wait longer to get on the throttle. Sometimes I feel like I enter too slow into the corner. It's all part of my driver development that I want to try to do on road courses and balancing act of learning how to drive these things faster. Get on the throttle a little too hard there. You can see I got it a little too sideways. It's not going to help the rear tires. I clip a bit too much in the curve. Let the car settle before I get on the throttle that time. Got the 14 coming back. I'm going to watch out for him. Going to try to get by him on the left-hand side. Able to clear him, so shouldn't have any issues going into turn 1. Backing up the braking point some. Trying to get off and let the car roll through the corner a little bit. Came in a little too fast that time and pushed the car out wide, but overall not too bad. Gap staying about 4 seconds back to 7th place, which is now the 8 car, so feeling pretty good about that. It gives me a lot of space to make mistakes.
You're second off the pace in sector 1.
Lap times are slowing down quite a bit. I'm just must be abusing the car and not driving very well. Trying to tack a little bit harder through this section in terms of when I brake to see if I can pick up any time. I have to watch out for the 14, who's likely going to have colder tires. He might be able to pick up some time on me.
Swafford is closing in. The gap is now 4.1.
Come by this time by to complete lap 10 and have 5 to go. 5 has been able to pull away from me, just not running very good laps at all, so they're not very consistent. I'm going to switch over to session last lap now, try to find some consistency. Make sure I slow it down a little bit more into turn 1 this time. Try to pick up some time that way. That's one section I've been losing a ton of time. You can see really did a good job that time. Almost 2/10 faster through there, so that'll certainly go a long way to help improving the lap times. Trying to do all I can to get back to the laps I was running at the beginning of the race. They should be possible. It's just me as a bad driver more than anything. Almost get a little bit of wheel hop, staying on the brakes too long. Coming in the corner too hot. Kind of blew it through this section, pushed out through that first corner, and that set up the rest of them to be bad. It's definitely a big rhythm section. You got to hit every single one right in order to get through it quickly. At least picking up time compared to my last lap, so that's a positive in the right direction. It's helping me maintain the gap on the 8th and 7th. Looks like we're running about even with the 5 as well, maybe only losing a 10th or so overall not too bad. Should be able to get back into the 115s. Want to try to get lower than that, but just going to do what I can.
That lap was a 115.79.
Get a little squirrely there under braking, but overall not too bad. Kind of pick up the throttle a little too much. The tires are hot. It's definitely getting tougher to lay the power down now that I've heated up the rear tires, so just got to watch that as I go. only 4 laps to go, so closing in on the finish. Still plenty of time for me to make a mistake, but been proud of what I've been able to do so far. Just driving within my skill zone and trying to make the most of it. Picked up a couple free spots because of being able to keep it clean and others having issues, so it's certainly kind of what I set my goals out to at the start of the race. So far checking everything off the way I wanted to. Not as good of a lap this time, just less time overall with the sections, but you know, still learning, so I can't expect every single lap to be good. It's part of my infancy, shifted up to 4th gear for some reason. Just gonna dial it back, get it back to 2nd. I think I like keeping it in 3rd and then shifting down to 2nd for that last corner better. See if I can make this next lap a little bit cleaner. 8 really picked up a lot of time that lap, so you know, it could easily be because of me dropping as much time as I did, so I certainly need to run more consistent if I want a shot to keep 6, because the 8 could flat out get me on speed now. Took that corner a little bit better without spinning tires quite as much out of turn 1, so allowed me to go a little bit quicker. Just need to try to keep it consistent and get through these sections a little bit better, and that should set me up in a slightly better spot to run quicker lap times. Especially this section, I've been pushing too wide through here quite a bit. You can see how much time I gained by getting a better exit out of that corner. Just sets me up for a better run through these corners. These ones are critical for me to be able to turn faster lap. I get on the curb too much while I got on the throttle. That's what it does. It just loosens me up too much. I can't lay the power down.
Sector 2 is a second off the pace.
I think the 8 might have had a bit of an issue, slowed down a little bit there, but still catching me, so I certainly have to watch out for that. Just try to keep it as clean as I can. Last 2 laps I clipped the corner too much. Certainly trying too hard at this point. That's going to cause me more time. 2 to go, almost to the end.
The gap in front has increased. It's now about 6.8 seconds.
Just need to try to drive within my limits, not overdrive it, and that'll put me in a better spot to try to defend the position and stay where I am. That would be a great time for the 8 to make a mistake and give me a little bit of buffer again. I would like to have that bigger gap. I'm not a fan of how much he's closing up on me. It's, like I said, more self-induced than it is him just being flat out faster, but I'm sure part of it is him being flat out faster, so would like to have that bit of a safety margin back. Certainly I can be a lot quicker through this half of the lap, and that'll help pick me up some time compared to the previous lap. Just need to make sure to not get on the corners or on the curving quite as bad. You can see how much time we're already picking by staying off of it.
Sector 2 is 0.8 off the pace.
It's all about those little things. If I can do that, that puts me in a much better position to, again, not turn fast laps, but faster laps than what I was running otherwise. So staying off of that curve, that's going to give me a lot better run out of the corner. And now without me making a mistake, it puts it in a tough spot for the 8 to get to me last lap. This end of this race cannot come quick enough for me, as I'm just absolutely terrible at these races. Overshoot the corner, but thankfully enough of a gap that it's not too bad. Just gonna get off smoothly. Should have upshifted just a bit sooner. Kinda got a little bit of wheel spin there.
Sector 1 is 0.41 off the pace.
Just working my way through, kind of overshoot that corner a little bit. We've got the 3 coming up, who's a slower car. I doubt I'll even get to him. I'm not really too worried about it as long as he doesn't hold me up with the 7, or the 8. 8's picked up a little bit of time, but again, not quite enough to get there. I just really need to keep it going straight. I should be okay. Looks like we are catching the 3, not sure where we're going to catch him. He's getting a bit squirrely off the corner, so just going to watch. Might honestly stay behind him if it's not too bad. He pulls off to the side, so just going to clear him quickly. Thank you to him for being respectful that way. Certainly a much cleaner race, much different to run. Very nice. Glad to be able to bring it home in 6th. That's about as close to the top 5 as I was getting. Was able to take advantage of free spots and
Good result, mate. Well done.
able to get something nice out of it. So really thankful for that. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that, even though I really was kind of running on my own pretty much the whole race. That's kind of how it is when I get in A, smaller splits like this where there's a big speed difference, and then B, I'm just, not very good at the car, so makes me feel a little bit better. We'll get out and take a look at the tires, see how bad I did to the rear tires in terms of temps. Temps aren't too bad, definitely wore them out. Was just sliding the car around way too much and was not getting the car to rotate anywhere near as good as I need to through the corners, but that's all going to come with driver development. So about 20 seconds off, it's a little under 2 seconds a lap, so that makes me happy there. I think that should be right around a second and a half or second and 3/4, so overall pretty happy with that. One of the few cars to actually finished without instant points. Actually, I think there was only 2 cars. It was the 5 up ahead somehow didn't have any. 3, sorry, the 8 behind as well also did not. So, really, really, really shocked to have done that. That is not typically what I do at all. So, very, very happy with that. And, yeah, so let's go take a look at the results, see how those did. Everybody should be done, so the results should be posted. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Certainly a little bit of a different tale compared to the Truck Series race that I tried to do and get in. So results are live. It was the top split out of 2, like I said, 2057. So for road racing and iRacing, that's pretty strong for me. Again, I know overall that's not crazy strong, but yeah, it was just over right around 1.7 seconds off. So pretty happy with that for my road racing, background. Obviously, I much, much, much more to gain. If I could have driven a little faster, maybe could have gotten in the 114s, but it certainly wouldn't have made much of a difference, honestly, in terms of finishing position. It might have just been a little bit more of a pride thing than anything. So able to gain 50 I rating out of that, so just under 1500 and 0.19 in safety, so up to 2.39. So both of those are headed in the right direction. Pretty happy with that. Glad to just get away with a race that went clean without any real scares or incidents, and nice to have kept it clean myself and been able to take advantage of those free spots that we got. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully you learned something out of it. Feel free to leave any comments if you guys have driving tips for stock cars on road courses in general, or specifically this week at Summit Point. Obviously, I would love to hear from that. Love to hear about those. Just love to hear from you guys in general. So stay tuned for more races, and until the next one, hopefully all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.